Some of you keep falling for this. If you see a military convoy going down the road or you see a train with military vehicles on it, that doesn't mean we're going to war. But it does mean there's a lot of you out there who are very gullible, and it's okay. We are going to walk through this so the rest of us don't have to suffer through your Facebook post. Now, let's address the vehicles on trains, because first and foremost, in the United States, let's just be honest, we see trains passing by every day, but we seem to forget how vital they are to the success of the country. Also, they are very reliable and rather cheap to transport military vehicles. And aha, US Army, here's the word cheap, we're going to use trains to transport our vehicles. Now, besides the fact of logistics and how cheap it is to use a train compared to moving those vehicles on their own, the US military also likes to implement training whenever they can. You have something called the railhead, where soldiers quite literally are working on the railroad, even though they never signed up for that, they are learning how to put their own vehicles on trains. And I already know what some of you are thinking, training on trains, it sounds silly, but it is what it is. Now here's the kicker. I think a lot of us seem to forget there are a lot of military bases in the United States. But I'm going to be talking more in context of the US Army, so of course we have the National Guard, Army Reserves, and the active US Army. Now, just like training on trains, the US Army wants you to train on convoy operations, or at least getting your vehicles to their intended target. Because you would rather have your LT get you lost on Highway 95 as opposed on Highway 1 in Afghanistan. Now, the US Army has specific training centers where you actually train for warfare before you go on a deployment. One of the most famous and most hated military bases, Fort Polk. Now, here's where things start to make sense. You're doing convoy operations, you get to the military base where you're going to do even more convoy operations in a war game. So, I will give this to you, Karen. We are technically going to war, but most of the time, soldiers are going to a war game or some sort of war training. Now, if you all know somebody who always says we're going to war, go ahead and send them this video, leave me a comment, and let me know if you've ever seen somebody say, hey, we're going to war, or you might even be that person. My name is T-SPLY, and I hope you enjoyed the video.